Brand new video shows New York Governor Kathy Hochul getting an earful as she was leaving the wake for murdered NYPD officer Jonathan Diller, this over in Massapequa. A source tells me this happened moments after Hochul refused to abide by the family's wishes. They would do an open casting viewing, and she did not want to wait on the outside. So she came in while they were closing the casket. As she stormed in, they just couldn't stop her. I'm told that family members let her have it when she got there, saying, quote, "His blood is on your hands." When Hochul got outside, that's when another family member confronted her, telling her that the governor laws need to change because that's the reason why Officer Diller is dead tonight. Hochul wasn't the only one approached at the wake. Mayor Eric Adams and DA Alvin Bragg were both confronted directly, this time by Officer Diller's wife. The source tells me she let them have it too, telling them the same thing that was told to Hochul. His blood is on your hands. I understand that Bragg kept quiet, and for a second it looked like Adams was going to engage. He realized he was heavily outnumbered and a politician, thought better of it, and left. The most shocking part about all this is that despite the fact that none of these leaders were welcomed at the wake, I have now learned tonight from a source that Kathy Hochul, the governor, asked to speak at tomorrow's funeral at St. Rose. So did, hold on to something tight, AG Letitia James. Both were rejected by the family. Joining us now, a fellow Long Islander, Lee Zeldin, former New York congressman who came within just a few points of being the next governor of this state. Lee, you had a chance to digest that moments ago. Your thoughts first about the request to speak from Letitia James and Governor Hochul.
How completely out of touch and disrespectful. It's about them when you make that kind of request. It really should be about the family. They can have speak whoever they want to have speak. And if you aren't invited to provide remarks, then you don't try to push your way into it. I mean, I think it's time for some of these elected officials that you reference to be doing some self-reflection. I mean, when Kathy Hochul went to drop the first puck at the Rangers game in Madison Square Garden, she was booed out of it, thousands of people. The same thing would happen if she went to Yankee Stadium or Citi Field, an Islanders game or a Knicks game. And it's important for these politicians to ask themselves why. The reason why they're getting this type of response is because, take Kathy Hochul, it's maybe because she won't fire Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA who refuses to enforce the law. They just enacted a new congestion pricing, making it more expensive to drive into the city when New Yorkers are struggling to make ends meet. Kathy Hochul refuses to give judges discretion to weigh dangerousness when setting bail. New Yorkers are hitting their breaking point and about to flee. And the people who are in charge, these elected officials, aren't actually making life in New York any better. So now you confront that problem with the raw emotion of a family who just lost their loved one, and the last thing in the world that they want are any of these Democratic politicians to try to grandstand selflessly for their own good.
And the reason why you almost won, Lee, there's many reasons, but it was because of crime. And she was late to the party to suddenly act tough on crime. Now they're trying to walk back some of their bail reforms, and the left-wing legislatures in Albany, and it's very similar to other states around the country, they don't want to hear of it. They say tough penalties don't deter crime. What are you, idiot? You idiots? If these people commit a crime and go to jail, they can't commit another. I don't care about their rehab. Here's what President Trump said to me yesterday about what it was like inside the Massapequa funeral home.
Stephanie's incredible, and they wanted me to be there, and I wanted to be there, and I came in from Florida, and what a family, the Diller family, and they lost a hero, really. I mean, just a hero. They're devastated. The family is devastated. The police force is devastated. The whole country feels this way, and it's happening more and more, and it's really a lack of respect for law and order, and we have to have law and order back in our country, and we're going to. Because this can't happen. This was a brutal murder.
Lee, you know what they're doing? I believe they're trying to take law and order and showing up at these funerals and acting like they're tough on crime because they're desperate for November. They knew they were going to get blasted, probably to a degree because of their stance. And they did it anyway and they wanted to speak at the funeral because they want to act like they're tough on crime. And I don't think anyone's buying it.
No, absolutely not, especially not in Massapequa. You know Massapequa better than anyone, not on Long Island. When you get out, exactly. And when you get outside of New York City, the bluest counties in New York, whether it's Manhattan or Queens or Bronx or Brooklyn, there are a whole lot of other parts of this state that are red. They are more conservative. They are not happy with the far left policies coming out of a place like New York City or Albany or Washington, D.C. I was in the room when President Trump was there yesterday, and I have to tell you that the photos that are coming out, they don't tell the story. Even President Trump reflecting just now, I got to tell you, it was 100 times more powerful than that. The grandmother running up, asking President Trump if she can hug him, and the embrace, and President Trump kissing the one-year-old baby and just being consoled by the family, consoling each of them. It was so powerful of a moment. And I got to tell you, this family is going through a lot right now, and now is just a time to be respecting them first and foremost. And when there comes a time after this, if you really want to honor the memory of this NYPD officer, then do something to fight for all the other NYPD officers and the other law enforcement who are on the streets right now. The people who you are stabbing them in the back with your policies. If you want to honor Officer Diller, then do your job actually protecting law-abiding New Yorkers instead of criminals.
Yeah, but they want to empty Rikers Island. They don't want to put anyone in there. They want to crack down on President Trump and Danny Penny, the Marine who saved everyone on that subway car. It is insane. And that's why Alvin Bragg was blasted, and all the others were too. Lee Zeldin, you get it. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you at the funeral tomorrow.